Two AI companies, two products, both claiming to be the most powerful AI in the world, both used by hundreds of millions of people, and depending on which one you pick, your experience could be completely different. I've spent serious time using both GPT-4o from OpenAI and Claude from Anthropic. Not for a quick test, I mean actually using them for writing, research, coding, analysis, and creative work. And today I'm going to tell you, honestly, which one is better and for who. First, a bit of context, because this comparison matters more than ever. For most of 2023, GPT-4 was the clear leader. Nothing else came close. But since then, Anthropic has been quietly building, and Claude has closed the gap significantly. In some areas, it's now ahead. At the same time, OpenAI has been adding features at a rapid pace: image generation, voice mode, plugins, real-time web search. So these are two very different products with very different strengths. I'm going to go through 7 categories: writing, coding, reasoning, web access, image capabilities, context window, and pricing, and give you a verdict on each. Then at the end, I'll tell you which one I'd actually recommend depending on what you need. Let's get into it. Round 1. Writing quality. Both of these models can write extremely well, better than most humans, frankly, but they have different styles, and this is where personal preference starts to matter. GPT-4o is versatile. It adapts its tone quickly, follows instructions clearly, and is excellent at producing structured content, listicles, emails, outlines, marketing copy. If you tell it what you want, it delivers. Claude, on the other hand, has a more natural, sophisticated voice. When you ask it to write an essay, an article, or a long-form piece, the output tends to feel more considered, more like something a thoughtful person wrote rather than something generated. It's particularly strong on nuance and tone. For short-form content and quick tasks, GPT-4o is excellent. For longer, more nuanced writing, articles, reports, scripts, Claude has the edge. Verdict: Claude wins on writing quality, but GPT-4o isn't far behind. Round 2. Coding. This one's close. Both GPT-4o and Claude are genuinely excellent at writing, debugging, and explaining code across virtually every language. GPT-4o has had a longer track record here and has a massive user base of developers who've stress-tested it across every possible use case. The code interpreter feature, which lets it actually run code, is a genuine advantage for data work. Claude has been quietly catching up, and for complex multi-step coding problems that require careful reasoning, many developers now prefer it. It also tends to explain its code more clearly, which is valuable if you're learning. For most people, both are excellent. If you're doing data science or need to run code in the browser, GPT-4o has an edge. For understanding and reasoning through difficult problems, Claude is at least its equal. Verdict: a genuine tie. Round 3. Reasoning and logic. This is where it gets interesting. I gave both models a series of multi-step logic problems, scenario analysis, and strategic questions. The kind of thing where you need the AI to hold a lot of information in mind and work through it carefully. GPT-4o performs extremely well here, especially when paired with its tools and plugins. It can search the web, run calculations, and chain multiple steps together. But Claude, in my testing, shows slightly stronger performance on pure reasoning tasks, where it's working from the information you give it. It's less likely to jump to a conclusion and more likely to flag uncertainty or ask a clarifying question, which sounds like a weakness, but is actually a strength when accuracy matters. Verdict: Claude edges it on raw reasoning, though GPT-4o with tools is arguably more capable in real-world tasks. Round 4: Web browsing and real-time information. This one goes to GPT-4o, and it's not really close. ChatGPT has native, seamless web search built in. You ask it something current, latest news, today's prices, a recent event, and it searches the web and brings the answer back, all within the same conversation. It's fast and it works well. Claude does have web search capability, but it's more recent and not as deeply integrated. Depending on how you're accessing Claude, you may need to enable it separately, and the experience isn't quite as fluid. If staying up to date with current information is important to you, news, research, market data, this is a meaningful difference. Verdict: GPT-4o wins on web access. Round 5: Image capabilities. Here's a category where GPT-4o has a clear advantage. It can generate images directly through DALL-E 3 integration. You describe what you want and it creates it right there in the chat. Claude cannot generate images. It's a text-only model. It can look at and analyze images you upload. And it does this very well, but it won't create them. Now you might think this is a huge disadvantage for Claude. But honestly, if image generation is what you need, there are dedicated tools like Midjourney and Adobe Firefly that are far better than anything built into a chat interface anyway. For image understanding, analyzing charts, reading documents, describing photos, both models perform very well. It's close. Verdict: GPT-4o wins on image generation. For image understanding, it's a tie. Round 6: Context window. And this one matters more than most people realize. The context window is basically how much text an AI can hold in its memory during a single conversation. The bigger it is, the more it can read, process, and reason over at once. GPT-4o has a context window of 128,000 tokens, which is very large. That's roughly the equivalent of a full novel. Claude has a context window of 200,000 tokens, significantly larger. That's closer to 2 novels, or a comprehensive legal document, or a full code base. In practice, this means Claude is better suited to tasks involving very long documents, legal contracts, lengthy research papers, large code bases, full book manuscripts. If you regularly need to process enormous amounts of text in one go, Claude's advantage here is real. Verdict: Claude wins on context window, and by a meaningful margin. Round 7: Pricing. Both tools have free tiers, and both free tiers are genuinely useful. You can do real work with them, but there are limits, and if you're a regular user, you'll likely hit them. ChatGPT Plus is £20 a month. It gives you priority access, faster speeds, the full GPT-4o model, image generation, and the GPT store with access to thousands of third-party integrations. Claude Pro is £18 a month, £2 cheaper. It gives you the full Claude model, priority access, and a significantly larger context window. The ecosystem is smaller, but the core model is excellent. For value on the core AI capabilities, Claude Pro gives you slightly more model for slightly less money. For breadth of features and integrations, ChatGPT Plus pulls ahead. Verdict: Claude wins on core value. GPT-4o wins on overall feature set. So after 7 rounds, who wins? Here's my honest take. If you want one AI that does everything, writing, browsing, images, voice, plugins, coding, GPT-4o is the more complete product right now. It has a bigger ecosystem, more features, and OpenAI has been iterating faster on the product side. But if your primary use case is serious text work, long documents, deep analysis, high-quality writing, complex reasoning, Claude is arguably the better tool. It's more thoughtful, handles longer contexts, and in my experience produces more nuanced output. My recommendation, if you're a knowledge worker, writer, analyst, researcher, student, start with Claude. The free tier is excellent, and Claude Pro at £18 a month is strong value. If you want the Swiss Army knife, image generation, voice, web search, plugins all in one, go with ChatGPT Plus. And honestly, if you're a heavy user, it might be worth having both. At £38 combined, that's still less than a Netflix subscription and a gym membership. For what you get, it's remarkable value. Links to both tools, including the free tiers, are in the description below. I also link to the affiliate programs in case you decide to upgrade. If this helped you decide, hit subscribe. I do honest, practical AI breakdowns every week. And drop a comment. Which one are you using and what do you mainly use it for? I read everything.